Good morning, hello, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. Welcome to the John Fretwell Centre in Mansfield, and there's that little red thing in the background. The Mansfield Road Club Big Red Reliability Ride. I'll come on to what a reliability ride is in a minute. But firstly, I need to go and get signed in, say hi to the guys and girls, and get ready to do some bike riding. Let's go. All right, so Matt's just going to tell us what a reliability ride is. Go on, Matt. And then how today's differs slightly.
Okay, yeah, so generally a reliability ride, it used to be called a reliability trial, where everyone would get together, all club cyclists or a club would get together at the start of the season, and everyone would basically be testing their form after the winter of training. So, yeah, group ride that gets a bit tasty basically at the end of the race.
They used to set average speed targets and you get like certain grades for different speeds.
Yeah, so generally you normally have like an A, B, C group, or you know, gold, silver, bronze, and you'd ride in your group, and then it'd generally be a reliability test to see not how reliable your bike was, how reliable your legs were.
But in reality, they seem to have progressed into a little bit tasty, haven't they? So basically just a real hard group ride. Yeah,
it's kind of like, and Mansfield Big Red Ride where we are today it's a popular, probably the most popular in the region. So
I mean, over 100 entrants.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes more sportive like, so there's going to be more groups on the road, more people that are here for the you know, for the achievement of riding.
I think the difference between this and a sportive is this was £6 or £7. There's no feed station. There's obviously refreshments back at the HQ. There's no stopping. It's not a social thing.
It'll be more like it'll be less like a old-fashioned reliability ride. But some people will definitely going hard for 90k. I know with the Mansfield guys, they've got some really really strong. All clubs have. But I know a lot of the Mansfield guys who organise this are really strong.
Do what? Morning. All right. We're in Mansfield. You have to watch your bikes when you leave it near your car. I grew up in Mansfield, so I can say that. Okay, well, let's have a good ride, Matt.
Yeah, let's just get back safe. That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. So the route is 60 miles, 3,000 feet of climbing. It actually goes around a lot of roads where I used to live. Now, my mum's house. I haven't told my mum I'm riding past the house because I don't want her to see me crying off the back of the group. But there you go. So yeah, let's we'll say hi to a few more people, then we'll get cracking. Adi, good morning. Could you, in a handful of words, just describe the Big Red Reliability Ride?
It's a race, really. forget reliability. It's a race.
Got it. I'll follow you then.
Yeah.
Have a good ride, mate.
Cheers, mate. You too.
Morning, Dean.
Good morning.
Would you, in a handful of words, just describe to me the Mansfield Big Red Reliability Ride?
Fast. Cold. Always cold.
It might be fast for you. It's not fast for me.
That should be all right.
Good. Let's get stuck in. Morning, James.
Morning.
You okay?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Ready for a good ride today?
Yeah, looking forward to it, yeah.
James got 100 miles in the bank yesterday. York Leeds. Please tell me the place names because I'm struggling.
York, Leeds, York.
There you go, that's
excellent
what you do.
Sportive, I would really recommend it. 106 miles. It was windy. In fact, it sort of was so windy, it sort of spoilt maybe 20 or 30 miles of it, but it was an excellent course. If it wasn't windy, it would have been beautiful. I really liked it,
This ride's going to be sport today by people going absolutely crazy.
I've never done this ride and it not feel like it's life or death.
Brilliant. Oh dear, let's get stuck in. There's absolutely loads of people about. Morning, Wayne, you alright?
No, Dan.
Why not? Is that because you're riding with me? Or look forward to a good ride out today?
Well, I've got a good wheel, so I'm going to go out.
No, you haven't, because my wheel will be going backwards. You want somebody else's?
I nearly did go out, so I don't need to.
It's like Inception. Morning. Oh, steady on.
How are you?
Don't put your arms up yet. All right, here.
Yeah, good.
Get behind me, mate. You get tucked on my wheel. Morning, Matt. Morning, Matt. You right?
Yeah,
you following that guy in blue, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam, people might think we're teammates.
Yeah.
Right. You're working for me today. Well done, lads. Am I allowed to sit at this table or not? Can I just want to explain a bit of a debrief. Where's Wayne gone? Wayne broke away, didn't he? Adam mentioned to me I might leave him then go across to him. Well, he could have given me 6 weeks notice, I'd have still not been able to go with you. But seeing you two go with him across, I was wicked. A good ride?
Yeah.
It was hard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't know I could keep going hard. If it wasn't for the sake of the other three that were with him.
I was...
Lads, now he's gone. In a breakaway with a professional bike rider. How was it?
It was a little bit painful.
Did you thought you broke?
Like he was enjoying himself as well.
I feel like he took a knife to a gunfight.
He didn't look far too comfortable.
Was he yawning at all? No, awesome work. Okay, so I am back home now. I've had a shower, I've had lunch, I've had a nap. It's about 6 p.m, so a lot of time has passed. However, I wanted to do this as like a race commentary. It isn't a race, but this helps me learn how to do this sort of thing. It's not something I get to do very often because you can't have cameras in bike races at the minute. So doing this sort of thing helps me, and I hope it helps you understand what was going off in the ride rather than me just saying, oh, it was a good ride, it was tough. I can actually show you some of it. So let's press play, have a look through it. I did make some notes as well as I was going through. So this is me setting off. Yes, I was leading from the start. I was winning. Sorry if I'm looking this way. I'm looking at the screen as we're watching it together. I might as well start at the front, hadn't I? I know it wasn't going to last for long, but I was by no means going hard. So I pulled out and just tooted along just to get my name down as having led it for a little while. It didn't last a huge amount of time. Another gentleman came around me, and then obviously the lads come around me. We just worked as a group. Now, the first, I'm going to say like 8 to 10 miles weren't actually that hard. Like, not hard at all. It was all right. Nobody wanted to put that first dig in, I don't think. There's a long way to go 60 miles, isn't it? You can't ride it flat out all the time. So, like you see now, yes, we're in a single file, but it's not hard by any means. It's not that difficult. Of course, after a little while, it did get a bit faster. Here you can see we're working as a group, kind of. Because we're riding with people who aren't used to riding with, you don't really know who's going to take a turn, who isn't. Are you going to do a chain gang? Are you going to peel off? The conversations just don't happen, so we're sort of just trying to play it easy. And also, I know we made light earlier of it, this being a race, just an example here of, we don't want to stack it, like this is a roundabout here, bad surface, traffic, wet, everybody's taking it steady, shouting out potholes and stuff. We don't need to have any crashes. There were a couple of crashes today, unfortunately. Hopefully everybody who was involved is okay. I don't actually know that, so hopefully if you're watching this then you are. But you can see here, we're not really going flat out, we're just making sure everybody's as safe as can be. So, next one now. So, it picks up a little bit here. I think Dean attacks on this point. So we've got here in front of me, I've got John O'Holloway, real strong rider. You can see because we have our names on our bums at South Normanton, which is very handy for this sort of thing when you can't recognise anybody. So there, Adam Kenway, obviously he's head and shoulders the strongest rider in the group. So everybody sort of looks at him and waits for him to do something. So he's then just had a little nudge just to stretch the group out a bit. There was about 25 riders. It's too many really for a working group or for a group to be on the road. So we wanted to split it up a little bit. So Adam's just put a little, probably not even a dig for him. He's probably just like knocked it up to zone 2 or something. And of course then a couple of people have a go. I think, yeah, Dean comes past me now at pace. I think, right, here we go. I don't need to miss this. I need to get an attack in and get with Dean. I don't want to close him down really fast and put a big effort in and burn loads of matches, but I know that if then more people come with me, I want to be in that front group. So therefore I have to put that effort in now. And I think I'd rather do it on my terms rather than having to react and put a massive effort in to get on somebody's wheel. I can actually just ease into it at like 400 or 500 watts rather than having to do 700, 800 to get on somebody's wheel. It just helps me protect myself for a bit in the future because I'm going to need to be protected. Now, after this does mean that I put an effort in, so I'm going to be a little bit fatigued. You almost need a bit of time to get over it. So here, I'm working hard to get back on Dean and Adam's wheel, and then there's a little hill. I've already put an effort in, and now I'm having to put an effort in again to try and keep up with these people who are riding uphill quite hard, and this does do me in a little bit. So Dean's there working quite hard. I'm obviously working quite hard. I'm sorry I haven't got time to put the power numbers on. Adam just stretching out into the distance. Adam was on his, here we go in the group that comes around me. Adam was on his hill climb bike because his gears are broke on his road bike. So 5.7 kilos, but no bottle cage. He's had a bottle in his pocket. Anyway, it's all there. A few people came around me. I was able to just slide back a little bit, but still stay in the group. We'll come back to that in a little while. This, I believe, is where I nearly get dropped. Now, that happened a lot of times on today's ride, but it happened big time on this one. So we can see here the whole group is coming past me. At some point, I should either put a dig in to follow a wheel or just wait for the last person to come past and sit on the last person. And that's what I was thinking I was doing, the latter of that. The group there, see, it's still working. It's like a false flat, and it was a bit of a tailwind here, so it wasn't much benefit. And behind this bloke, and I wasn't being very attentive, he's dropped the wheel there, and there's a big gap opening up. I'm like, oh no, I need to get on that. So I came round him, but I can't just put a big sprint in. I've just been working really hard. But I know that group is what, 15 people? I'm not going to close them down. If they get 10, 20 seconds up the road, there's no way I'm getting back on. There were 2 or 3 other guys with me, but if I'm honest, I wasn't really thinking about who was around me. In hindsight, I should have done. I'll save you the watching this really long. Basically, I got back on the group. It took a massive effort, and the 2 guys did just sit on me to get back to the group. So be it. Hindsight, I should have perhaps said, come and give me a turn or something. But the main thing is I got back on the group, was able to stay with that front group. I was anticipating being dropped at some point, but I didn't want it to happen early on. Fueling wise, I ate and drank loads. I had everything I had with me, my fluids, my gels and stuff, and I felt a bit sick 2 hours in, if I'm honest, but I would rather that than be underfueled, so that's just what it is. Check out this corner here. This is really not, so we turn onto a little side road. Gravel, potholes. It's just, we're all on like crit bikes. I was on my air road today, which is my road racing crit bike, Fast Friday bike. And it's just carnage. It's not good for them, but you want to be on the best bike you can to stay with the group, don't you? So again, this is pushing on again up here. My finger's wiping the screen. Apologies for that. The next one I've got titled Staying with Kenway. Oh no, Jono filling gap positioning. Here we go. Right, so this is all about positioning here. Come around this corner. It's raining, by the way, as well. I'm not cornering as fast as the rest of the riders. Triathlete. Adam Kenway puts a bit of an effort in, get back on the group fine, so does Dean. I'm struggling a little bit, but because I've positioned myself further up the group, Jono comes around me and just fills that gap. That's another bike length I haven't got to close. So I was always trying to be conscious of being towards the front of the group. And this is useful for group rides, it's useful for races, it's useful in a lot of scenarios. Particularly if somebody like me, I'm not going to be climbing the fastest, so I always try to get nearer the front for a hill, so then I've got a few places to slide back without actually getting dropped by the group. This is another example of this. So we're going up some rollers. I know these roads pretty well. That guy just drops the wheel, so I come around him and think, okay, I just need to kick on, because if I can stay on Adam's wheel over the top of this hill, I'll be on his wheel for the next half a mile or so, because it's just flattened downhill. Easier said than done. So I was trying to do that, but he just presses on over the top, and I do get back with him at the bottom of this hill, and then we'll see what happens after I've had to put this effort in. So he's probably soft tapping there. I'm still pedaling to catch him up, because I know I just can't let him ride off into the distance. He would have waited for us, but he wants to try and keep in the feet under your own steam. So I've got this hill, which is about 30 seconds or a minute further up the road, and I'm absolutely full gas here. I'm flat out. I did like 550 watts for a minute several times today. Too many watts. And you see here, it just snaps the elastic, just starts pulling away from me. That is no good. However, then the whole group then starts coming past me. But all of these, I've got all this time to fall back and still be in that same group, because I positioned myself up to the front. On that previous hill, if I'd have stayed with that bloke who dropped off and let the group come around me at that point, I'd have been dropped on this hill. So you've got to think a little bit further ahead. Helps if you know the roads. Obviously, you can't always do that, because now I've surged to stay in the group. I haven't got enough gas to get with the group again. This is the big thing. This is the big attack. Here we go. Right, so Wayne Randall got off the front of the group somehow. Freak accident. Good rider, strong rider. He had a little attack and got up the road. I then saw Dean come in, and he comes past me in a minute. He comes past me and he eases himself towards the front, and he's obviously going to try and bridge across to Wayne. And he didn't make it so obvious at first, but then he was obviously at the pace he was going. So he's the rider in front of this rider on the Propel. So we see him now. This is his view as well. So he's working his way towards the front of the group now. Adam had said to me, I'm going to bridge over. And look, just absolutely destroys us. Sprints across. I shout to Dean, Dean, go, because I knew Adam was coming like 10 miles an hour faster than him. Dean gives everything. The bottom right screen here, this is Dean's view, so you can see he's got a big gap to close. Dean attacks. Matt Bagshaw gets on Dean's wheel, and they eventually close down Adam and Wayne. And then Matt, Dean, Adam and Wayne stayed away for the rest of the ride. Then they did about 15 miles just as a four breakaway. This is us just following the sort of second group. The pace did knock off a bit after a while. We tried to close them down, but it was obvious we weren't making up any ground. It was still a relatively hard ride. I think the stats were 296 watts for 2 hours and 42 minutes or whatever it was, with a few big digs as you can see there. But yeah, we definitely knew that we weren't catching them all. Having spoken to Matt and Wayne afterwards, they really learned a lot from it. So Adam was able to gauge the gap, gauge effort, keep them all together, keep them all working well together. Real good experience. So there we go. That is my experience of the Mansfield Big Red Reliability Ride 2022. If you have any reliability rides near you, check them out. They're not all like this. Behind us, there was also two other routes. So there was a medium route and a short route, or shorter route. There was also loads of other groups as well. So there was other groups of cyclists, riding steadier. We had loads of people out from the club and from Mansfield and Ashfield and other local clubs. Just put your name down, go and join one. They're a good test, a good workout. You'll ride some new roads that you perhaps haven't ridden before. So there we go. And I'll leave that video there. Let me know down below what you think to reliability rides. Are they as savage as we've made out today? I certainly hope so, because that was pretty tasty. And hit subscribe if you haven't already. To be honest, I've used today as a bit of like road race prep. Like, I know that I've still got a lot of work to do to be able to hang in with a road race group. There were a lot of times in that group today where it was really easy, and I know it wouldn't be like that in a race. So got some work to do. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow at 4 PM. Laters.